Hi, and welcome to a presentation on 4 steps to setting up an AdWords account. A lot of AdWords accounts that I look at look like that they've been set up without any real thought into how the campaign should be structured. So the objective of today is to show you how an AdWords campaign is structured and the factors that you should consider when deciding on how to structure your campaign. So the agenda that we're going to go through is to look at keyword research, look at how you can research your competitors and find out what they're doing, look at the AdWords campaign structure and the factors that will influence how you structure your campaign, and then look at how to set up your ads. So the first step in setting up your AdWords campaign is to decide on what keywords you're going to target. And to do that, you need to do some keyword research to find out what people are searching for. Now, with this being the first step in the process, the result of this step will affect every other step, which makes this quite an important thing to get right. Because of that, we have created a presentation which focuses on keyword strategy, but the main points are that you should use a keyword research tool. You can use the one provided by the AdWords or a third-party tool like Word Tracker, which is very good. Focus on keywords that are relevant to you. Don't blanket bomb the industry, because you'll be paying for clicks that won't get your return and won't convert very well. Consider the stages in the buying cycle and consider at what stage you want to engage with the buyer. So the stages being the initial research, then considering comparing products, and then once a decision has been made, doing the final search to make the purchase. And then finally, categorize your keywords into relevant groups, which will help you decide on how the campaign should be split into the various campaigns and various ad groups. As I said before, this is a very important step, and there's a lot of detail that still needs to be covered within these 4 points. But if you watch our other presentation on keyword strategy, it'll show you what you need to do to make sure you get this right. The next step is to look at your competition, because if a visitor has come to your site, you can guarantee they'll be on your competitor websites as well. So it's important to know what they're doing. On top of that, by doing a good amount of research into your competition, you may be able to learn some lessons with just the expense of your time rather than at the expense of your daily click spend. Now, a great tool to use is Keyword Spy. This allows you to see what keywords your competitors are bidding on, to look at their ad copy, to see how long they've been running the ads for. There really is a lot of useful information that can be extracted from this tool. Now, when you're looking at the ad copy of a competition, look at what they're focusing on. Is it features or benefits? Is it pricing? If there's a theme across all your competition, then it's a sign that that's what works for them and for the industry, and that's an approach that you should also consider. Next, look at the pages that they're linking to, and look at the information that they're focusing on, or what their core message is, and what they're using in order to try and convert their visitors into customers. Next, compare your offerings. Look at the products and services that your competition have and see how they compare to yours, and be clear on what your differentiators are and what will convince people to buy from you rather than others. And once you know what your differentiators are, make sure that they're clearly displayed on the website so that all the visitors know why they should buy from you. Next, look at the service and product selection that your competition has. This is an important thing to look at, because people like being on websites which offer a wide selection. So in an example where somebody has a website selling jewellery and they're thinking on targeting the keyword bracelets, they may find that they only have 20 bracelets on offer, whereas one of their competitors may have 150, in which case it's likely that the competitor will be more competitive for that keyword, purely because they're offering a wider selection, which is keeping their visitors on their site for longer, allowing them to gain a higher conversion rate. Then finally, look at the pricing. Now, even though this isn't the only influencer which affects which product people buy or who they buy it from, it is one aspect which always allows people to make a direct comparison, which always makes it quite an influential factor which needs to be considered. So what we're going to do now is look at how an AdWords campaign is structured. Now, within your AdWords account, you'll be able to have campaigns. Within your campaigns, you'll set up your various ad groups, and within your ad groups, you'll set up your text ads and decide what keywords you'd like to target. Now, at campaign level, you can decide what geographic area you'd like to target, what your daily budget should be, what networks and devices you'd like to target, so whether it's just on Google or also on the search partners, and whether you'd like to include mobile phones, and you can decide your start and end dates for the campaigns. At ad group level, you can choose which keywords you want to target within that ad group and what the text ads should be. And then at ad group level, you choose where you'd like the ad to link to. Now, within your account, you're allowed to have 500 campaigns. You're allowed 20,000 ad groups within each campaign, and you're allowed 300 ads within each ad group. So when deciding on how to structure your campaign, there are a few things that need to be considered. At campaign level, you can have a separate campaign for each geographical area that you're looking to target, or you could decide to have a different campaign for each one of your products or services. And the reason why you do this is that if you had two different products and you wanted to focus more on one than the other, then you could have set up the two campaigns and give the product that you're looking to promote more a higher daily budget than the other one. Or you could base your campaigns on the stages in the buying cycle, where you may want to have a smaller budget for the earlier stages in the buying cycle, but increase your daily spend for the later stages where people are actually ready to make a purchase. And at ad group level, it's relatively straightforward, where you should have a separate ad group for each keyword category. If we now look at an example of this using a hot air balloon company that operates around the London area, they may have two different campaigns, one for geographic specific keywords and one for generic keywords. So within the geographic specific campaign, they would have ad groups for each of the locations where they are based. So they would target keywords relating to their area, so balloon ride Sussex, balloon flight Sussex, hot air ballooning Sussex, and then have ads which relate to that geographic area. Again, keeping the relevance right from keyword to ad text to the landing page. And then they do the same for all their other locations, Bedford, London, and any other launch sites that they had. For the generic campaign, they would have split the keywords down into the relevant groups. So we have one ad group for balloon rides, and balloon, where the keywords are balloon ride and balloon rides, and then another one for balloon flight, and again keeping the relevance right from keyword to the ad text through to the landing page. Now, because they only operate within the London area, so that none of the budget gets wasted, what we do with this campaign is make sure that the campaign only targets a specific geographic area, so that if somebody does a search for balloon rides up in Scotland, the ads wouldn't appear. So once you've decided on how you're going to structure your campaign, the next step is to actually set up your ads. And the first step here is to choose keywords that are relevant to the ad that you're about to create. And then the second step is to consider what match type you're going to use, of which there are three options The first one is a broad match type, which is a default option. So if your ad group contained the keyword tennis shoes, your ad would be eligible to appear when a user search term contained either or both words, so tennis or shoes, in any order, and possibly along with other terms. Your ads could also show for singular, plural, or synonyms and other relevant variations. So it really is very broad and captures really any search to do with what the keyword is. The second option is a phrase match. So if you enter your keyword in quotation marks, so if we use tennis shoes again as an example, your ad would be eligible to appear when a user searches on the phrase tennis shoes with the words in that order. It can also appear for searches that contain other terms, as long as it contains the exact phrase that you specified. So it could include black tennis shoes, cheap tennis shoes, tennis red shoes. As long as the two words appear in the right order, anything else can be put in front, in between, or behind. The third option is an exact option. So if you surround your keywords in brackets, your ad would be eligible to appear when a user searches for the specific phrase tennis shoes only, and nothing else will be allowed in. So in terms of which you choose, it varies from campaign to campaign, but if you do choose to use a broad option, make sure that you monitor the campaign very closely, because it's likely that you'll get a lot of low quality traffic through in the early days until you've optimized the campaign with negative keywords. So once you've set up your keywords, the next step is to set up your ad copy. The structure that we recommend is to have your target keywords in the headline, a benefit on your first line, a feature on the second line, and then featuring the keyword in the display URL. Now, the reason why this is a good formula to follow is that when somebody does a search on Google, they scan the page and look for the keyword that they've just typed into the search. And if you don't feature the keyword in your headline, it's likely to be missed. You then capture their attention with a benefit. So this can be an offer or a product differentiator or service differentiator, and then you support this with the feature of what they can find, and then supporting the relevance with having the keyword in the URL. So here are a few examples where we've got the keyword balloon ride Sussex in the headline. You then have a benefit where they can save £30 if they book online, and the feature is that they can choose from 6 launch pads within Sussex. Another example here, tension fabric roofs as a keyword. They have award-winning roof designs, and the structures can be used for all uses. So once you set up your ads, the next step is to decide where you're going to take your visitors, and the trick here is to take them to the most relevant page that relates to your keywords and to the text in the ad. If you take people to your home page, you're relying on them to find the information, which they're unlikely to do. Whereas if you take them straight to the information they need, you'll find that your conversion rates will be much higher. So that brings us to the end of the presentation. I hope you found it helpful, but if you do have any other questions, then please feel free to get in contact using any of the details provided here.